Hey guys, welcome to Seeing Blend. My name is Cindy, and today I am kicking off our fall 2022 live streams. So I took a break over the summer, of course. I'm kind of following the kids' school schedule for the live streams on my channel. So make sure your notifications are turned on. Hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. That's how you're going to get notifications on when I go live and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to also try to be more active with the community tab. So make sure that you just check in and see if there's any announcements and things like that. If I schedule things out a day, 2, 3, 4, or whatever ahead of time, I'll try to also post that in the community section as well. But welcome to the live stream, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, my name is Cindy. I'm a blind mom. I love sharing tips, tricks, hacks, and of course, discussions like these. These are the live streams that I'm going to do weekly from here till Christmas time, then take a little break for the holidays, and then we'll pop right back in for the New Year 2023 spring section of the year. And so these are blind community chats that I love to host. I also love to invite guests on to join me for these discussions. So if you would like to join, you're welcome to email me. My email is seeingblind101 at gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on my Facebook page, which is Seeing Blind, I think 101 Official, something like that. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, of course, and all the usuals. Okay, so you can pick your platform there, reach out to me via message, and yeah, we'll get the ball rolling. I'm already starting to get a few guests lined up. I've got to respond to a few emails, and hopefully, I'll be able to let you know here shortly who our first guest is going to be. I don't want to disclose it just yet for scheduling purposes, but I'm very, very excited. I've got a lot of great ideas for this year, and we're going to talk about those ideas coming up shortly, as well as some of the hot news that I've been seeing on TikTok, review some of the older discussions I've actually posted on in the past, but it's been long enough and I'm starting to see these trending topics pop back up on other social media platforms. So I thought we would highlight them again for today's kind of blind community chat news, if you will. I want to try to include little segments of blind community chat news, just trending things that pop up on my feeds and just discussions that I see within the groups that I'm members of. And yeah, we're going to continue with that kind of theme for every little live stream that I do. Remember, friends, you can listen to this podcast style, though I am not a podcaster. I'm not going to be uploading these on podcasting platforms. So just keep that in mind. You'll need to check in here on the YouTube platform to catch these live streams, but you can hit that play button, put your device down, and listen to it as if it were a podcast, okay? I just can't keep track of to have too many irons on the stove, if you will. Like it's just I already feel like I'm stretched between so many platforms. Doing this as a blind mom, it's kind of just a little chaotic at times getting content out there, and I feel like just trying to take the content that I'm creating now and then put it in podcast format is just a whole nother game. And I'm just trying to keep things streamlined. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you tune in weekly. I'm not sure if we're going to keep it to Tuesdays or Thursdays, maybe both, but that's why you want to hit that notification bell, okay? It's going to be around our lunch hour time. Today, I'm off to a late start, and I'm going to give you the little caveat here because this is not a job that I make money at. This is a hobby, and this is something that I volunteer to do to provide this type of hopefully information sharing, community building, advocacy, awareness, all the good stuff that I try to do and promote on my channel and all the work that I do as Seeing Blind. I don't get paid for any of this. Yeah, I'm never sponsored. I am a tiny little atom in the huge ocean of social media content creators. And so I don't make anything at this, guys. So I do have other forms of employment, such as accessibility testing. I am an accessibility tester for a company. And so when I get work, that takes precedence, of course. And unfortunately, that may mean that I need to either cancel or postpone a live stream. If that happens on a Tuesday, you can bet your butt we'll see you on Thursday. If it happens though on a Thursday, hopefully we went live on a Tuesday and that will count for that live that week. But just make sure you tune in on Tuesday and or Thursdays to catch live streams here on Seeing Blind. So let's get into it. What should we do first? How about we check the chat to see if anyone is joining me live today? And I'm going to kind of pull it up here on my iPad and just see who all is with me today. I'm going to turn my screen reader on and hopefully you guys can hear. See who all is with me today. I just realized I did not pause this video. Hang on just a second. If you're in the chat, go ahead and give me a hello, an emoji. Tell me where you're at, where you're from, how you doing, all that jazz. While I get set up here, I'd love to see who is able to join us today. I absolutely love chatting with you guys. It's so much fun just kind of building this community with you guys and chatting, seeing how everyone's doing, if anyone's got questions, that kind of stuff. Okay, here we go. Now then, let's see. I gotta get my screen reader going. Disney for Life. Ray for AJR. Hi, Cindy. Guess who in Hub? Hey, Ray. Welcome. Hey, my friend. Thank you so much for joining. As always, I'm so glad you're able to tune in. I love your videos. Disney for Life. I absolutely love your handle. Voiceover off. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't think I have seen you very many comments from you. Disney for Life. I would recognize that handle. That is such a brilliant screen name. I absolutely love Disney. And I saw a news heading here recently, speaking of news, and this is not necessarily blind life related or disability life related, but I heard that Disney's like dropping ESPN in favor of maybe purchasing Hulu and such to like squash out the competition of Netflix. I don't know. I love Netflix and I love Hulu and I subscribe to many of them because my husband is a student and teacher. He's getting his doctorate. So a lot of the times, FYI, if you have a student in the family, college level or such, as so that they have an actual like student ID or email account, you can get crazy discounts with all of the TV watching streaming services such as Hulu and Netflix and all of that jazz. And also, of course, Amazon Prime, they have a student rate as well, which that's where you get Prime TV. All right, that's a random tangent for you, but hopefully that helps somebody out there. Disney for Life. Hi, I'm Ray for AJR. Thanks for the email address. Much appreciated. You're welcome, Ray. Hey, you know, Ray, as a longtime subscriber, my friend, you have been through a lot of blind life. And I know this past year especially has been very difficult for you with displacement and trying to get housing figured out and everything with a hurricane. I think it was a hurricane. Was it hurricane or was it a tornado? I can't remember. But I remember around the time that you were going through that, a lot of my friends and family had been displaced by a tornado in Kentucky. But if you would like to join me as a guest, my friend, send me an email. Again, guys, that's seeingblind101@gmail.com. I do get lots of emails. A lot of it is just like, it's funny because I am not that big of a content creator, or I wouldn't even go so far to say an influencer. You'll rarely hear me use that word because it's not like I feel like I'm really influencing, you know what I mean? But I do still get all of these like random PR departments reaching out, sending me all these like junk emails. And it's kind of like this last one I received is super sketchy. And I wanted to share this with you guys because this is the kind of stuff that I just don't want to be a part of because it's, well, here, let me just explain it to you. So I received an email from a big kind of just company that does all kinds of like random sale, mostly like jewelry and fashion and things like that. And they sell all over Amazon and Walmart and such. And they're, I guess, like a fulfillment type of thing. But anyway, they have thousands upon thousands of products listed on Amazon and other retailers. And they were like, "Hey, would you like to collaborate? You pick out what you're interested in, and then we will like help you go through the purchasing process, reimburse you, but you have to, we're trading this for a 5-star review." And or I need to review the email because I'm not sure if the 5-star is like a requirement. You know what I mean? Like it sounded like the process, you got the product before the review, but would I still be allowed to leave a 1-star review? I don't know. But I am not one of those people where you will ever see me promote a product that I do not legitimately feel is a 5-star product. If I ever mention anything, that is something that I do. I like to share products and things that work for me in hopes that they will be work for you guys, because one of the struggles I have as a blind person, and especially blind mom, is sometimes I don't know what's out there because I can't, it's not like I can see product on the shelf. It's not like I see every advertisement or anything like that. And so because of that, I don't know what I don't know as far as great great things out there that could make my life easier. And so a lot of the times I depend on word of mouth. I love watching, Amazon must haves and, Walmart hauls and TJ Maxx hauls. That's the kind of content I like watching because that's how I find what's out there that I could use to make my blind life easier. So if I find a product, if I'm like, hey, I need that, that could work for me. If I do like it legitimately, that's what you'll hear me share. But I am not okay with doing these collaborations. And the caveat is that I have to leave a 5-star review or I have to recommend it. You won't see me do that. I don't believe in that. I just want to promote honesty, right? It's so frustrating when you go to Amazon and you'll see like, oh, this product has like 10,000 4.7 stars. But out of those 10,000 reviews, maybe only 1,000 of them are legit because the company could have probably paid thousands of people to give fake reviews, basically. Okay, back to the chat. And then we'll move on to some news updates and what you need to know for 2022 live streams. 34HAR. Say Cindy, how's your leg? Thank you so much for asking about that. Yes, so actually that was a TikTok video that I did about a month or so ago. So my leg is all healed up now. But yeah, y'all, if you did not, it's a recent little 2-3 minute video that I posted recently where I talked about just a kind of a blind life mom moment. I was having a really bad day. My vision was bad. And about a month or so ago, I was still really doing a lot of cane work and getting used to transitions. I'm still terrible at transitions using my white cane. So, for example, transitions getting in and out of the car and quickly folding up that white cane. Or in the case of this video, I was sitting at a concrete picnic table at a park having a picnic with my family, and it was not a graceful successful transition, getting up, standing up, you know grapevining out of this picnic table bench and thing, and I fell, and the concrete really scratched up my leg, and so I had like all down my calf, just this really bad like bruise and scrape. So I thank you for asking. Yes, I'm healed. I'm fine. It was just about 2-3 days of a pretty ugly look there, but all healed up now. And I'm fine. And I just that was one of my moments that stood out to me over the summer, and I posted on TikTok, and I'm like, you know what, I should start posting some of these TikToks on my YouTube channel. So that's like a sneak peek. I was going to sneak this in later in the video, but it fits right here. So there you go. News number one, what you'll be able to know, what you need to know about 2022 on the channel, not specifically for these live streams, I'm going to be posting a little bit more of the TikTok and Instagram account as well, as far as that short form content on the YouTube channel as well. So that, like, for example, Ray, I saw your comment on another video that says that you're basically a YouTuber, you're not really active on the other platforms. And so that inspired me to, like, well, okay, I need to take all the content that I create in TikTok and share it on YouTube as well, because you are not the only one. I'm sure that as far as my audience goes, that only checks out the YouTube stuff. So that is a little bit more just things that kind of share a little bit more of my personal journey, and that way we can all get to know each other a little bit better. But thank you so much for asking, Ray.
Ray4AJR, thanks for the email address. Ray4AJR, say Cindy, how's your leg? Welcome to Live Chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidebook. Ray4AJR, well, Cindy, I bet you can guess how I am, what condition I'm in. Are you? How's your leg, by the way?
I am barefoot, my friend.
Ray4AJR, it was Hurricane Ida, and I have a new apartment now. I get to go barefoot to the end of my driveway to check the mail every day.
That's right. It was the Hurricane Ida. Okay. Yep. I thought so.
Voiceover off.
All right. Well, so I think I am caught up in the chats for now. If not, please send a hello, a howdy, a how are ya? What's up, my friend? Anything in the chat. So I already started giving you a little brief kind of beginner intro on what you need to know about live streams here on Seeing Blind for the fall for 2022. And that is, guests are going to be coming up. I'm already starting to book. So if you're interested, make sure you email me. The second thing, I do get quite a few requests to do the live streams, and sometimes scheduling, especially for me, because it can be a little iffy depending on doctor's appointments and depending on my accessibility testing work and a lot of other factors, that because my schedule still needs to be a bit flexible. And so from time to time, it may be like this. It's just me coming on for a discussion, which is another reason why I absolutely love to see you guys in the chat, to interact and to still represent the blind community in your perspective. So definitely, but with that being said, because I do, especially once I get the ball rolling and there's some consistency, I start to get more requests. But a lot of the times, if I haven't really developed a rapport with someone, or I'm not sure, what they do professionally or what they have kind of gone through, to I guess give them an authority and or have a good personality and I guess articulation and communication skills to come on to, I do kind of I guess screen a little bit. Okay, I want everyone to have a place and be represented, but there are some that just aren't cut out for it, and I have had to just think about it a little bit more, and maybe we can review if someone's reached out to me before in the past and I either couldn't schedule, or I got too busy, or it got to the end of the school year and I had to stop the live streams. If I didn't get to you, here's your chance. Email me now, email me again, and we'll review and figure out what you want your topics to be, the discussions, and how you would like to share your perspective and experience to contribute to the disabled community. You don't have to necessarily be blind. You can be a sighted supporter. You can have a different disability. You can have a disabled parent. Any perspective is welcome here. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Also, I'm trying to think. Hold on.
Over on. Landscape. Dismiss. Dismiss. Double tap to video player. Ray4AJR. It was Hurricane Ida, and I have a new apartment now. Ray4AJR. It was Hurricane Ida. Ray4AJR. It was Hurricane. Ray4AJR. Well, Cindy, so glad you're barefooted. Do you still go barefoot outside? I do. I am now.
I sometimes will go barefoot outside, but the thing is so it's really hot in Tennessee, and I don't like it when the concrete blacktop is so hot, it burns my feet. So there are times when I'm still wearing shoes just because I don't like it when it's super, super hot outside. Okay, I think I've caught up with the chat. I'm like burning up. If y'all see me sweating, it's because it's really hot in my office today. All right, so let's get into the news. So some of the things that I have seen trending, a lot of the stuff that I watch on TikTok and Instagram are as follows. So about not recently, but about 6 months or so ago, with I think it's been within this past year, I posted a video regarding first person first language versus identity first language. And just a very quick recap, I person first language is putting and recognizing yourself before your disability. It's separating yourself and the how you define yourself from your disability. And then the other one, which is identity first language. This is where people are, they don't have it's not that I don't want to like put any of my projection on this definition of how I feel and think about it, but it's basically where people don't mind basically when their disability is listed, especially as an adjective, before other adjectives. For example, blind mom. You will hear me oftentimes, I'm a blind mom, because literally do see myself. I'm a blind mom. I have no problem with it. It doesn't mean that that is the only thing or way to define me, but it is a my perspective of life, and that's a, the identity first language in casual instances and on social media. That is typically how I will refer to myself. Now, I posted a video a while back, really going into depth into this conversation, talking about some of the perspectives I heard, especially from the autistic community on TikTok, and how other perspectives really influenced and sparked a very interesting conversation. And so I did a video on that. And that topic, for some reason, has been popping up all over again. I'm not sure if it's some crackdown in professions, in academic professions, and just in the workforce in general, if people are starting to go to trainings about it or what, but somehow this topic is popping back up, at least in my social media feeds. So very, very interesting. I always broke it down as a formal versus informal context. Some people, especially in more professional environments, academic environments, they are like psychologists and teachers, doctors, they are religiously taught that if you are charting, if you are doing anything, you must use person first language. And I agree with that. It's better safe than sorry. It also helps, especially when you are charting on people, you're constantly writing updates, notes, treatment plans, goals, objectives, and measuring them. And you're constantly, updating your notes and progress charts on whoever it is you're working with, and on your clients, your patients, your students, whatever. I think it's always great to use that language because it still helps you in your mind with that repetitiveness and the disconnect of writing about it versus interacting with the person. Sometimes you end up writing about it more than the time you actually spent with that person. So I think it still humanizes them, and it helps your brain to still conceptually view them as a person before the disability that you are treating or addressing or writing and charting on, if that makes sense. So I totally agree with that perspective in those situations. However, if I'm speaking to my next door neighbor, my best friend, my sister, my brother, whoever, my husband, my kids, I absolutely have no problem in casual situations and conversations switching it up and saying, "Yep, mom's blind," or "I'm a blind mom," or "Oh, I'm having a bad blind day," and or "Hey, I'm the blind neighbor down the street." I have no problem doing that, and to me, the thing that makes the difference is context, and that's just where I draw the line. Everyone is different. And so that here's where I would love you to comment down below if you're watching, listening podcast style. Take a second if you can, put a pin in this. I'd love to get your feedback. Which do you prefer? Do you truly want to, at all times, all circumstances and situations and conversations, be referred to as a person with Johnny who is blind, yada 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 yada, or John or blind Johnny. I mean, which do you have a preference basically of what it is and why? I would love to hear everyone's feedback, thoughts, and perspectives on that because it is a apparently a new trending topic. And I always love to hear where people stand on it. I definitely, in the last time I brought this topic up, it was seemed to be a 50-50 kind of mix. Some people didn't care, some people did, and some people were like, wow, yeah, your way of breaking it down as far as context is, they were like, yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. And so they were like me, where it was kind of both, just depending on the context. So that's a trending topic I've seen. Another trending topic is, and this was a big one, especially after Kamala Harris, the vice president, she was doing, it was like a sit down meeting regarding, I think, something to do with ADA. And the beginning of the meeting, she announced herself, her pronouns, and did a description of herself, what she was wearing, and she was sitting at a desk, that kind of thing. And this is becoming more visible, especially social media or large type of gatherings, especially when people know, especially that there's going to be individuals with disabilities, and this is, an effort to be inclusive for the disabled community. And she received quite a bit of pushback, and even from the blind community. Some in the blind community are like, why are you describing? I don't care what you're wearing, kind of thing. If you haven't seen that video, I'll try to post it here on YouTube here shortly for those who have not seen it on TikTok and or Instagram. I can't remember if I posted on Instagram or not, but I did on TikTok. And so I'm curious, do you have a preference? Do you like it when, say, there's like the beginning of a formal meeting, CEOs doing an update, or I don't know, if whatever the case may be. Do you like it when someone says, hey, my name is Susie, my pronouns are her, she, her, and I am wearing a brown top with black slacks and I'm sitting at a desk. Or today I'm outside with a group of people and it's windy, but it's sunny, that kind of stuff. Just like a visual description of the setting. Do you care if they talk about what they're wearing? Or does that only pertain to like fashion type of conversations and like when the topic is related to fashion? I don't know. So that is a kind of a bit of a controversy going on right now that I'm seeing come up a time or two in social media feeds. A lot of big names have kind of been weighing in on it a bit. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on it. Do you like it when people include a description, or do you feel it's unnecessary? It's not really substantive or provides substance to the content that you are listening to? I don't know. Tell me what your thoughts are. Personally, I appreciate it. I even if I don't get a lot out of it, I appreciate the effort. I think we've all tried for so long to get people to understand, to make an effort to be inclusive, and I always want to appreciate that effort. Never do I want to personally discourage anyone from attempting. Whether I benefit from it or not, sometimes I will, and maybe sometimes I won't. But the effort and the option and the, I guess, acknowledgement that my needs could be that is always welcome. And I never want to discourage that, especially since, in my opinion, we've all worked so hard for so long just to get able-bodied, non-disabled individuals to be inclusive some way, some form anyway, right? Like we've been fighting this for 100 years now, right? So that's just my personal opinion. I don't always care what people are wearing necessarily, unless the topic, again, it comes down to context and relevance. If it is a fashion thing they're talking about, if it's weather related and they're like, hey, I'm outside, I'm wearing a down coat today because it's crazy cold outside right now. then that's relevant, So, to me, it just really depends on relevance. And I think people need to just kind of maybe take a few minutes before, as they're introducing themselves beforehand, to think about, okay, what is my description and things with my introduction going to include, and what's going to be relevant in that description. I personally love, the thing that I get the most is the environment and context of the environment and meeting. For example, are you sitting at a desk indoors? And if so, how many people are present for the meeting? Because I'm not going to be able to see how many people. Is it a big, large room, 50 plus people? I'm sitting at a desk with three others. I have no idea, but that's a big difference. And you can tell a lot of the times the formality of a meeting changes with the number of people. And that's important context. Sometimes people can sound a little bit more professional when they're speaking to a large group of people. And it can also it can sound more professional with a large, and sound a little bit more casual with a smaller group, especially a group that they may already know, but it's being recorded and sent out to the public or for whatever reason. And I see those types of meetings often enough that that's information I would like to know. I also like to know if it's outside, weather, again, people, that kind of thing. It's just the visual elements that I guess just includes me, and knowing what is going on, who is in on the video, image, whatever. You know what I mean? My iPad died, so I'm going to try to get into the comments over here another way. Bear with me just a second, y'all. I didn't realize my iPad was so low on battery. I had to do some work earlier. That's why today's live stream started after 1 p.m. because I was working, and it put me late, and it ran my iPad battery down.
StreamYard logo. What you need to know for fall 2022 live streams and interviews. Edit and broadcast to get missing image descriptions. Open the content.
That was super crazy loud. Sorry, guys. Okay.
Seeing blind with Cindy. Mute stop cam. Settings share. Invite mute studio notifications. Comments banners ran private.
Okay, I'm going to try to get my computer screen reader to read.
StreamYard logo. What you need to know for fall 2022 live. StreamYard logo. What you need to know for fall 2022 live streams and interviews.
Why is this not?
Broadcast to get missing image descriptions. Open the context menu. Seeing blind with Cindy with 32:25. Private mic is muted.
Give me just a second, y'all. Okay. If you're watching this on the replay, by the way, if you can give me a like and subscribe and all that stuff while I am trying to figure this out real quick, I would really appreciate it.
I'll bet you can guess how I am. What condition? Plain. Show. StreamYard logo. What you need to know for fall.
Okay.
Well, Cindy, I'll bet you can guess how I am. What condition I'm in. How's your leg, by the way?
Okay. I'm going to scroll down because I know I've already gone over that
I
comment.
also thoroughly enjoy that individuals are now starting to include disability as part of the conversation of diversity. StreamYard logo. What you need to know for fall.
Sorry if this is coming
StreamYard logo. What you need to know
on and off on your screen, y'all.
Edit and broadcast to get missing.
For some reason, my screen reader doesn't always like this app
StreamYard logo.
that I'm using.
StreamYard logo. What you need to know for fall. I also thoroughly enjoy that individuals are now starting to include disability as part of the conversation of diversity.
Yes, I totally agree with this. So if you did not hear this comment, they're talking about how they are starting to appreciate that in the broad use of the word diversity, that is starting to include more individuals with disabilities. Yes, individuals with disabilities is supposed to be always referred and included when people are speaking of diversity. Diversity is oftentimes only a lot of times referencing race or ethnicity, and that's not the case. It references any minority group, and we happen to be the largest minority group that people can join any there's people joining every single day of their life unknowingly and unfortunately, and they're diagnosed with a disability, and next thing you know, they are part of this group, and they should and always should be represented within the term diversity. um, and yes, it is, people are finally starting to jump on that. It's the same with inclusion. Whenever that is used, it is supposed to represent all minority groups, not just specifically, race, ethnicity, gender, non-binary, all those conversations, all those groups, all those topics. It, inclusion and diversity represents all. And finally, individuals with disabilities are starting to be represented and lumped within those terms. You are correct.
StreamYard logo. StreamYard logo. StreamYard logo. StreamYard logo. What you need to know for fall 2020. StreamYard logo. StreamYard logo.
Well, it will
What you need to know
not.
for fall 2022 live streams and interviews. Edit and broadcast. Rafael Toro VIP.
Raphael, hello.
I also thoroughly enjoy that individuals are now starting to include disability. I totally like that because it gives context to where people are.
Yes, oh, so you like that too. Yes, it does give context to where you are and what's going on. And I think too, it really does help to just include you. I mean, it's like the effort that people is going to, that is acknowledging, hey, for the audience out there that can't see the screen, here's what's going on. And it's like, whether it's pertinent information or not, I appreciate the effort. It makes me feel included. And that's the whole point of being inclusive. Now, as I get, again, there were several comments on other people's posts that when they were posting the little clip of Kamala Harris saying that, it was all over social media, and a lot of people, there were people in the blind community giving her like some pushback on that, like it wasn't necessary, or oh, you don't have to do that, or why is she doing that, yada yada yada. And some people were even mad that she even included her pronouns and stuff. And I'm like, what does it matter? Like, if someone wants to represent themselves with their own pronouns, like, then just, if you don't want to hear it, or you don't believe in it, or whatever the case, my thing is like, well, then just don't worry about it. Skip on, like, it's so funny that everyone feels like they have to correct someone based on their opinion or something. I'm just like, if someone's representing themselves, then guys, your opinion is not needed.
Why we humans need to be so complicated. For me, it doesn't matter to be acknowledged as a blind if beyond that is not a real understanding and really believe that I am part of the society.
Yes, let me see if I can pull this comment up, my friends, so that you all can, for those who watching it on the replay, can see this comment.
StreamYard logo. StreamYard logo.
Hopefully you guys can see that. You'll see the comment here. Very
Why we
interesting.
humans need to be so complicated. For me, it doesn't matter to be acknowledged as a blind if beyond that is not a real understanding and really believe that I am part of the society.
Yes. Yeah, we don't need to be so complicated. There are times though when, it's easy, because there's like 2 or 3 other blind moms on my street, not blind, but blonde moms on my street. So sometimes it's just the easiest and most like the easiest go-to descriptor for me. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm the blind one. Because there's like so many other blonde moms, that have kids the same age as me. And so I'm like, it's just the easiest go-to descriptor that I really don't take offense to. So I usually don't mind in that regard, but some people do. And that's legitimate. That's valid. And I totally get it. It's just everyone thinks about it differently, and that's all right.
I do really enjoy the content you bring.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you do. I really appreciate that. Okay, I think I may be caught up to date with the chat. If I've missed anything, please just let me know. I know it's kind of difficult with me transitioning over here to this screen, but Yeah, so let's see. Seems like there was one other piece of speaking of fashion, the last trend that I have been seeing within the blind community, especially, but I mean, really, it's for the disabled community in general, is how fashion is finally also starting to join this inclusivity bandwagon. They are starting to create more fashion that is disability friendly. For example, many of you guys know I highly support and love Two Blind Brothers, but they are part of this inclusive fashion trend by including braille on the hem of their shirts that tells you the color of the product. And so that is a way of having inclusive fashion. But Tommy Hilfiger is also coming out with an adaptive line that I have seen on social media. I've not myself really touched anything or worn anything in that line, but I know they're coming out with wheelchair friendly, adaptive fashion. And this is a new trend. It's starting to explode. If anyone sees any product that is trying to be inclusive, that is marketing itself as adaptive wear or anything like that, hey, support it. This is because where our dollars go is it really kind of determines if this is going to keep its momentum, and designers are going to continue to think about individuals with disabilities as they are designing their fashion, or if we don't purchase these products, then guess what, they won't continue to make them and design them. So this is where, unfortunately, our dollars have the power to continue this trend and momentum. So I encourage, anytime you see adaptive wear or uh, fashion that is inclusive to you, whether it is a graphic or whether it's a specific design that just makes that accommodates your disability in some way, some form, support it. Okay, recommend it, share it. I'm always a big supporter of just getting that type of content out, because otherwise, how would people know it exists if we don't push it and spread the word? You know what I mean? And it's not going to continue to grow if we don't show our support for these concepts. So yes, so adaptive wear, inclusive fashion, however you want to phrase it, is becoming a bigger topic. So that is something I was really happy and excited to see here the past week.
I also thoroughly enjoy that individuals are now starting to include disability as part of the conversation of
Already
diversity.
got that comment.
Why we humans need to be so complicated.
Oh, already got that comment. Am I up to date?
In a formal meeting, I really would prefer that it not be done. That is not why I would go to such a formal meeting. In an informal setting, such as this, that is a completely different matter.
Interesting. I'm not sure if you all heard that. Let me see if I can show it on the screen. Is it shown?
StreamYard logo. StreamYard logo.
Well, sometimes my screen reader wants to read it.
StreamYard logo. In a formal meeting, I really would prefer that it not be done. That is not why I would go to such a formal meeting.
Interesting.
In an informal setting, such as this, that is a completely different matter.
Okay. Hey, good to know. And if it's an informal meeting, you don't really see the value in it, and that's cool. That's valid.
I only have one pronoun. The one God gave me. That's plenty enough for me.
Amen. And if you choose to use it, announce it, then that's your prerogative. And same with anybody else's in my book. Everyone has their own way of introducing themselves, and that's theirs to do so as they will. So, all right, very interesting. So those are the three pieces of news that I have, and then as well as announce some of the upcoming topics that I'm hoping to touch base on in future live streams. And if you have any specific requests that you would like us to do more discussion on, please let me know. You can comment, you can email, you can message me on any of the other this platform, other platforms. Well, not on this one because you can't message on YouTube, but you know what I mean. Let me know if there's something that you're struggling with. If you want more acceptance topics, let me know. More personal growth, things like that. I One of the things that I'm wanting to talk about are audiobooks. If you if you like to read using audiobooks, or if you're a large print user, Kindle, that kind of thing, if you still read printed versions with adaptive technology, or do you prefer the audiobook thing now? And if so, what are your favorite audiobooks? And I'm really interested. I posted a question on Twitter the other day asking what uh, like publications were people's favorite as far as helping them with their personal growth and acceptance of their disability. I got some really good feedback. There was a couple of things on there that I have never even heard of, and I can't wait to listen to them in the audiobook. But that's going to be an upcoming topic here soon, so stay tuned for the audiobook live stream. And there was one other oh, I wanted to discuss more. I started this back in our last series, where we're too blind to be sighted, but we're too sighted to be blind. That gray area that we find ourselves in, that is a very relatable topic that a lot of people are still commenting on. I'm still seeing that come up in other, that's another kind of trending topic I'm seeing, especially on TikTok here recently, that, there's just a lot of people in that gray area. And it's like they get that, it's a form of gatekeeping where some people don't mean to, I guess, mean anything negative by certain statements that they make, but it comes across so, and it makes that feeling worse. It leaves them lost, feeling lost and displaced and not part of the blind community, because it's like, if someone's sharing their sight loss experience thus far with someone on the spectrum of blindness, and that the other person says, "Oh yeah, I remember when my vision was that good," or "Oh yeah, I remember when I could still see that much," or just little things like that. And it's like if someone's sharing their experience, if they don't specifically ask for yours, then mm, you may not want to make little statements like that, because that's where I feel like a lot of us get that sense of displacement, like we're not blind enough, clearly, or something like that. And I want to discuss that more in a little bit further again, and see what everyone's experiences are thus far with those types of feelings and experiences within our disabled community. And it's not just the blind community that does this; it is across the blind and across the disabled spectrum as well. So, um, yep. So we're gonna go into that, and I'm gonna check in over here and see
StreamYard logo. StreamYard
if I
logo.
can get.
StreamYard logo. StreamYard.
I think that's it, my friends. I can't tell if we got anything else in the chat box or not. This thing likes to. It's not the most accessible website app that I'm using here. Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to read.
StreamYard logo. StreamYard.
But it's not letting me read it.
StreamYard logo. StreamYard logo. StreamYard logo. What you need to know for fall 2022. StreamYard logo. I am one of those that for some blind people I can see too much.
Yes. So I'm assuming you're responding to that last topic. Yeah, there's so many people that they have enough functioning vision remaining that they still even appear fully sighted. And that's when, they get the whole like, "Oh, you're faking it," or "Oh, you're not blind enough." And oh, they feel like, "Well, when do I use my weight cane? Because I still have some vision." And anyway, yes, very, very interesting topic that is so common, which is why I want to continue that discussion. So again, tune in, my friends. We're going to be doing this more in the future. So I really appreciate everyone who is joining me today. And I look forward to our next live stream. It could be this Thursday at 12:30, my friends, or it will be next Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks a bunch for joining. And remember to email if you'd like to join in future live stream podcasts. And I look forward to scheduling you. Take care, my friends. Blessings to you and yours.